Thanks, everybody. Thank you very much for the invitation, Roozbeh, and I'm here to bring greetings on behalf of members of council in Richmond Hill. I think, as a fellow politician, and I know that there's a number of us in the room today, we all know, and I'm sure all the volunteers know, what a brave and courageous act it is to put your name forward. And I'm very interested, and have been for quite some time, to have really good people at all levels of government supporting Richmond Hill. That is our home. It is very important. Clearly that we have partnerships with other levels of government, and I thank you very much for being here and supporting a good candidate. So thank you, Roozbeh. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Again, greetings from Richmond Hill Council. I got to run because I had a bit of a fashion problem this morning that I'm doing all these community cleanups. So my fashion wardrobe today is strictly a compromise between a campaign office opening and a community cleanup. But my wife said it was okay, so I'm fine. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Blessing us with your attire, and you're ready to get out there as we're ready with our canvas shoes on, hitting the doors without wasting any more time, because we have some people that are really important and they're here to celebrate today with us. So I want to introduce to you the MP of Willowdale, Ali Ehsassi, elected to the House of Commons in 2015 and a supporter who hits the doors with Roozbeh. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone, your worship, great to see you this morning. Wow, what an incredible, incredible crowd. And let me tell you, I am sure, having all of you known Roozbeh for quite some time, this is one incredible day. There have been many, many years where I've been hearing people say, we need Roozbeh on the ballot and we have to make sure he's elected. So it is so incredibly exciting to have Roozbeh on the ballot. And of course, it's incumbent upon every single one of us to make sure that Roozbeh does win. Now, Roozbeh, as you all know, is incredibly brilliant. He's experienced, he's been out there. He teaches each of us plenty of things about politics. But right now, as awesome as Roozbeh is, we have to all make sure that we're out there every single day, knocking on doors, making sure that we're connecting to people here in Richmond Hill. The reality is, let's not kid ourselves, people generally don't follow politics. They don't know what some of those important issues are, what the Premier is doing, what he's not doing, and that's why it's important we get out there, we communicate, we let our friends know to come out, knock on doors, because having a strong candidate like Roozbeh, if we do our job, there is no doubt in my mind that we will get him elected, and we're going to have an incredible person in the Ontario legislature standing up for all those issues that matter to us all. So please, let's give it our role in the course of the next couple of months, and let's make sure that Roozbeh is in the legislature and he has the opportunity to change the agenda and make this province a better province for us all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, MP Ehsassi. Thank you for your support. And a reminder that yes, we do need to knock on doors and keep people informed. You would be surprised at how many people are wondering if there is an election coming up. And yes, there is an election coming up, and we have a strong candidate for Richmond Hill. So let's get the word out. And the next person I have on our lineup is our MP for Don Valley North. And he formerly served Trinity Spadina in the Ontario legislature. Han Don, I present to you.
Thank you. Well, today the real important person is Roozbeh. My good friend Roozbeh. You know what, I'm going to take a different direction because I think I earned the right to criticize what I've seen in the last 4 years. And I hope it gave you some confidence, gave you a few different thoughts when you hit the doors. You know, I'm a campaign organizer. I've always been told that, you know, people don't vote governments in, they vote governments out. And this time is the time to vote Doug Ford's government out. The last 4 years, what have they done? What have they done? Now, They spent 50% of their time doing comms. They spent 10% of their times playing politics with the federal government so they can get more money, so they can give benefits out to their friends. They spent 10% of time fighting with the Auditor General, which they completely worshipped when they were in opposition. But now the Premier is picking a fight with the Auditor General. They spent 10% of time re-announcing the investment the Liberals did, and they voted against when we were in government. And that's ridiculous. And they spent 10% of the time telling everybody else to step up in the pandemic. And the last 10% of the time, the Premier has gone missing, hiding from the media. Now, a lot of people told me Doug Ford is a nice guy. Okay, I take that. That's fine. But he's a nice guy to his friends only. You know, if he wants to be a nice guy, he can go back to do whatever he was doing before and continue to be the nice guy. But Ontario, being the second largest government in this country, we don't need somebody that's incompetent, leading an incompetent team to represent us in Queen's Park. We need people like Roozbeh, people with dreams, with plans, with the backing of all these wonderful people with ideas. Go to the legislature and really do something progressive. You know, I give you all these big arching messages, but when you think about what they have done in the last 4 years, all the promises they made, you know, the gimmicks is a bucket of beer, you know, the 10% off the gas, you name it, tons of stuff. Recently they announced to take away the plates, you know, that will hit the provincial books billions of dollars every year. That's going to create a structural deficit for our province. And this morning I saw the news, a senior got fined $500 because she thought she didn't have to get the permit anymore. No, you still have to get the sticker. So they can't even give out money right. This is the government that we are talking about. We cannot suffer another 4 years of a PC government led by Doug Ford. So together, everybody squeeze out time, touch your pocket and squeeze out last, $10, support Roozbeh, win every seat, it's important. And a lot of people told me, oh, you know what, the poll says that he's good, now he's gonna be, you know what, if he doesn't win the next election with a majority government, he's out. I think there's enough progressive people, those on the ground and in the legislature, to make sure he's no longer in that seat and his team is out for good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Amazing. Telling the truth of the political climate we're in right now. So it does matter that you are showing up today. It does matter that you're here ready and willing to knock on doors and ask people to vote for a better government. And my next guest is someone who is very familiar to all of you. He actually served this very riding for 11 years since 2007. I've had the honor of working for this man for almost a decade, and I can tell you that he is as hardworking and as I see him being today as he was since 11 years ago. He also served you as the Minister of Research and Innovation, and he also served as the Minister of Training Colleges and Universities. No other than Reza Moridi himself. Welcome, Dr. Moridi.
Well, thank you very much, Kimia, for that very, very kind and gracious introduction. It's, my friend, it's a great day today. I am so pleased to be here this morning to participate in the grand opening of Roozbeh's campaign office, and it's great to share this podium with my good friends, His Worship David West, our mayor, and also MP Ali Essasi, MP Han Dang, my former colleague at the Ontario Legislature, and of course it's a great pleasure to see many of you, and indeed we have here with us the President of the Ontario Liberal Party, Brian Johns. Please give him a big round of applause. Yes. It's very kind of you, Mr. President, to be here this morning, and this speaks volumes about Roozbeh, that the President of the party, you know, he's in charge of the whole Ontario, and as you know, Ontario is a big province with 2 time zones. We have a big province, and he's in charge of 124 ridings, but he took the time to come over to Richmond Hill and be a part of Roozbeh's campaign office opening. So welcome to Richmond Hill, Mr. President, and thank you for that. You know, Roozbeh is not a newcomer to the Liberal Party. He has been with the Liberal Party since he was in school. And of course, he served as our CFO, Chief Financial Officer for the riding of Richmond Hill for several years. And since our former CFO, Saeed Sajjad, who's here as well, he served for a number. Give a big round of applause, yes. Saeed was one of the pillars of my campaign along with Roozbeh, and when Saeed stepped down as CFO, then Roozbeh took over, and I'm so grateful that he did. And after some years, of course, he became the president of the Riding Association, and he served this community and this riding, and of course his own party, the Ontario Liberal Party, very well. And when he decided to run, when I decided to step down from politics, we all very excited that Roozbeh is going to be our candidate, and fortunately he got he got elected by the party members of the Richmond Hill Liberal Association as our candidate, official candidate to run on June the 2nd as our candidate. And hopefully on that evening we are going to celebrate his election as the MPP for Richmond Hill. You know, as the former speakers, particularly Ali Asasi and Han Dong mentioned, you know, politics is a kind of family business, as they say, but also it depends upon friends. So we get elected because of you, because of people who come out and help us. So that is very important. And volunteers play a major role in the success of every politician in politics. So my request is that, you know, once we finish this event here this morning, then, you know, begin knocking on doors and talking to people, speaking to them, and bringing and delivering the message, Ontario Liberal Party message and Roozbeh's message for this riding, and of course the party's message for the whole Ontario. As Han Dong mentioned, Ontario is the second largest government in our country. Ontario is the economic heartland of our wonderful country, Canada. So it is very important that our province strives in many, many aspects, in economics, in business, in education, in healthcare. And this can only be done by the participation of every member of this or every resident of the province of Ontario, and indeed every resident of this riding. So it is very important for all of us, you know, to come out and knock on doors and help our candidate, Roozbeh Farhadi, to get elected on June the 2nd. Roozbeh is a yes, please, go ahead. Roozbeh is a very hard-working person. I have witnessed this for years and years, working with him and along with him. And he's also a very highly educated person. He's a banker by education. So he will be an excellent addition to the Stephen Del Duca team as when they form the government, giving his experience, giving his knowledge, giving his expertise, and also giving his dedication to the Ontario Liberal Party. So please come out and help him, and we wish you all the best on June the 2nd. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Maridi. Thank you so much. Bringing in the energy that we need this morning, of course. And our next person is our candidate, Roozbeh Farhadi, who's going to introduce himself. And then from here, just a reminder, and I want to again recognize Brian Johns, Vito Totino. We're going to have a great time with these folks. We're going to have you lined up here and have a photo op after. And I'm going to just remind everybody that there's sign-up sheets inside if you're volunteering, if you're going to be generous as Han invited us to be with your time. Please put your names down. And we also have transportation for you for the campaign office opening that's happening next week for Stephen Del Duca, the leader of our Ontario Liberal Party. So, Roozbeh Farhadi, bless us. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. It is truly an emotional day for me. But I want to first start off by thanking everyone for being here. Thank you, Han Dong, Thank you, Mr. Ali Assasi. Thank you, our Mayor, David West. Thank you, Dr. Reza Maridi. I know our President has been mentioned a number of times. Brian Johnson Vito, thank you for being here. And everyone that has stood beside me. I certainly have my parents over here who have supported me through, and my in-laws as well. Thank you to the riding president. I know CFO was mentioned. Mahyar is here, and I saw him. There he is. Absolutely, no, she is going to be mentioned without a doubt. I feel really bad for Mahyar for becoming a CFO, not because he has to deal with someone who was a CFO, but because he has to deal with someone who was a CFO and constantly nagging him. But I really appreciate all your help, and he's been awesome. Kimia is our president, and to the executive committee, thank you so much for all your help and support. Being involved in Richmond Hill politics has given me a lot of things, but probably the most important is how I met my wife. And for those who don't know, through Dr. Reza Maridi, as a volunteer, and as we used to work for Dr. Reza Maridi, and that's how we met. So not only Richmond Hill is my hometown, not only I live in Richmond Hill, not only my parents, my in-laws live in Richmond Hill, I used to work in Richmond Hill, but this lovely city is through and through the roots that I have been able to build up here in this wonderful province of Ontario. So I'm grateful to it, and with that, when Dr. Reza Maridi, who I consider him to be a mentor, when he decided that he will not run the next term, I am honored to have the opportunity to continue in his footsteps. And some of the things that I have learned, and when I have a look at what this election is about, and I think it's truly going to be about values. When we have a look at what values we stand for and what values Doug Ford has stood for, it is going to be very, very clear choice for Ontarians. People have asked me, why are you looking to get out of working in the financial sector after 16 years, take a pay cut, and get into a realm that you constantly have to get out there in all kinds of weather, talk to people, and everything else that comes with it? It is because I truly care. I've learned from my parents that you need to make the place that you're in, you need to make sure that you leave things better for the next generation. As a young person who came to this country, got through university, through support of things like OSAP, I want to make sure the next generation has not only what I had, but has it better. Dr. Reza Maridi, for example, and the previous government helped make education more affordable, and this government has taken that away. This government has also reduced the type of access that we have to our healthcare. With a sister who's a nurse, and I know we have a number of nurses also over here, we've seen what they've done to our nurses. And almost a mass exodus because of this government. And they had the audacity right before the election to come and say, oh, we'll give you $2,500 now, and if we come back, we'll give you another $2,500. Those are crazy. Those are nonsense, and we need to do better. We also need a government to actually listen to people. We don't have to all agree, but we need to listen. It's been a year and a bit since I started my nomination process, and then got nominated on October 1st. And during all of those conversations, one thing here locally has constantly come up, and that is the way we're approaching development. We all know we need development. How we go about it is really, really important. A couple of weeks before start of an election, Doug Ford decided to sneak through an MZO, Ministerial Zoning Order. So about a block and a bit south of here, just north of 407, they essentially have issued a Ministerial Zoning Order to build about 67 towers, some of those as high as 80 stories high. And they did that by throwing away City of Richmond Hill, City of Markham, York Region's plan for densifying, and they said, you know what, we know better. So we are going to impose how you need to do that. And this has been done against the thoughts and against the plans and against the advocacy of people who live in our community. So those are a couple of things, couple of reasons that I'm running under the leadership of Stephen Del Duca, who has rebuilt our party, who has helped us bring together a wonderful lineup of candidates who resemble what Ontario looks like, both from ethnicity and when you have a look at 50% of the candidates being female, and all walks of life, all types of education. We've got nurses, we've got doctors, we've got teachers, we've got business people who are running with real life experience. And that is going to help make future better for Ontario. So when I said, I think this election is going to be about values, that's what I mean. It is really being able to see ourselves reflected in our candidates, being able to see ourselves in who we want to build Ontario, and the choice is going to hopefully be, with your help here in Richmond Hill, turning it back red. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I really appreciate your support. We're going to get out, knock on some doors from the bottom of my heart. I really, really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody for Roozbeh Farhadi. Roozbeh. That's the spirit. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Roozbeh. Now you know you have a dedicated, assertive communicator who's going to be an active voice for you in Queen's Park. We make that choice today. We do have the agency to make that choice as we get out there and tell people how awesome our candidate is. And he is backed up by the support that you see on ground today. He's backed by former ministers and MPPs and local supporters just like you.